I don't think you have to be mentally ill to commit suicide. I'd say for some people it might be a rational decision. You know, they look at the choices they have to get through a particular difficulty. It could be, for a lot of us, take a few cans, take a few pills. For somebody else it could be go and talk to somebody, go to a professional. For somebody else it could be, well, I'll end my life, that'll end my pain. Maybe in one or two of the schools their view would be, well, if you talk about it you'll put the idea into somebody's head. Yeah. I don't agree with that. Though I did talk to somebody who tried to take his life a few times, and he was of the view that he wanted to shake the idea of suicide out of his head, and if somebody came along and started talking about it, it would bring the idea back in again. So it's not black and white, but I would go down on the side of it's always best to talk about it. I think the pain can be so horrific for people close, for families and for communities, that it's too hard for some people in the past to talk about it, and so they just blocked it out, you know. But I think that is changing now, and the stigma and the taboo is shifting somewhat, and I think it's great, you know. Like in our work here, we will always put it out there. It was a bit like cancer in the past. Nobody spoke about it, but now it's okay to talk about cancer. I hope the day will come when everybody will feel it is okay to talk about suicide. I think it can do. You can go to a counsellor and you feel you're getting nowhere and you'll stop going. But I would always err on the side of caution. I would always ask people to go and talk to somebody close to you, first of all. If not, go to somebody that you might play sport with. If you can talk to somebody, go to a professional. You know, I would always say talk to somebody. I suppose it depends on your relationship to that person. If you're very close to that person, and you might have always, one of your roles with that person was how to help them to get this done or that done, is to, I would say, listen to them clearly. For everybody, listen. You'll never make a mistake if you listen. And having listened, then maybe encourage that person to talk about why they want to die, you know, why they want to live. If you feel you can't do that, talk to somebody. Maybe if that person is a young person, talk to their parents if that's possible. But get them to talk to somebody rather than carrying massive pain. The pain is shared, where light can be brought into the situation. Talk to somebody. It could be a significant, if you weren't a friend of that person, but you know somebody who was, you might talk to them about what's the best way, how can we help this person best. My view, I've never read or I've never spoken to somebody who say kind of it can be inherited, but I think we look at our parents and we look at our friends and whatever, and sometimes we might decide to go down the same road in terms of if we want to end our life. So if somebody close to you has ended their life and you feel, well, they've gone to a happy place and that's where you want to go, well, then you might be influenced by that person's decision. Or if there is evidence which says if somebody in your family or a few people in your family have died through suicide, the risk is increased for you. You know, if that's hereditary, well, fair enough. Well, if somebody says they want to kill themselves and they have a plan, you can predict it may happen if nothing is done. But I don't think you could take anybody off the street or go into a school and say, well, I can predict he will kill himself or I can predict she will kill. I don't think you can. Okay. But there are risk factors, you know, where it might make it more likely or less likely. What we do here in the project, in the Neighbourhood Youth Project, is we will always, like if I remember starting a group, maybe for second level up, or starting a competition, soccer or whatever, for the first time, I'll always talk to the lads and the girls about suicide. And the message I'm giving is talk to somebody. And it creates massive security for kids to know it is okay to talk about suicide. Go to somebody you trust. Like most of us go to our friends, but if you have spoken to your friends, if you have friends and you've spoken to them and you've gotten nowhere because they find it too hard to talk about it with you, If you're exhausted, all the people who think, you know, you should go to, I would say go to a professional. You know, seek out somebody that you think will listen and that you trust, obviously somebody particularly that you trust. Otherwise go to the golden pages and get the name of a counsellor and ring a counsellor. I think maybe as well mental health issues may come into it. It might be people feeling nobody cares. It might be years of pain where people have sought help but didn't get it and decide to give up. If you on that, like, you can never have a situation where there is no suicide. You can never guarantee somebody won't kill themselves. In some ways maybe they have a right to that decision. They must take responsibility for that decision of killing themselves. But I would always, my view would always be, look to see if you can offer hope. And if you can offer hope to that person, then he or she might decide not to kill themselves because they see hope.